There's the recording. We'll keep going from here. So let's go ahead and go back to the PowerPoint. And let's talk about estimating. Let's see. It's hard to ask you guys questions without having you in front of me. I was going to ask you guys what it means to estimate. What do you guys think? Let's go ahead and put that in the chat. What do you guys think it means to estimate something? Just a quick couple words. What does it mean to estimate? Okay, Juliana says to guess. What else? To round. Guess and check. Guess the amount of something. To round. Good. You guys are doing great. To estimate something basically means you're going to guess and round to the closest ones, tens, whatever place value it asks you to go to. That's why we went over place value. So what is estimating? There's this whole brain pop video. Don't know if it's going to work though. Let's see. Oh, gotta log in. Alrighty.
What do you want to do first? There's Mount Spacemore, the haunted hub.
You guys hear that? You gonna unmute and just tell me, can you hear it on your end?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah? Sounds good? All right, go ahead and mute it again and we'll watch this video.
Well, the puking teacups, Whiplash Waterfall, the monorail. That just goes around the park in a circle, slowly. All right. Dear Tim and Moby, how is estimation different from just guessing? From Biff. Well, in everyday life, you'll hear people use those words as if they mean the same thing. But estimation and guessing are totally different. A guess is a prediction based on little or no evidence and no real method. An estimate is a prediction based on some evidence, even if it's imprecise, that you use mathematical principles to interpret. Believe it or not, estimation is one of the most useful math concepts you'll learn. It can help you with all kinds of real-life problems, from planning your day to budgeting your money. I knew you'd want to eat about 10 cotton candies today. I figured they couldn't cost more than $2 a piece, so I brought $20 of cotton candy money for you. That's an estimate. Something else? All right. Take a look at this line for the monorail. I could guess from how long it is that we're going to be in it for at least an hour. But if we wait for a monorail to come pick up a load of people, we can make a more scientific estimate. About a quarter of the people in front of us were able to fit on it. Looks like about 20 people. According to that sign, the monorail comes once every 5 minutes. So if 20 people get on the train every 5 minutes, we can estimate that this line is approximately 20 minutes long. 20 minutes just to get on this stupid, boring monorail. Yeah. Ooh. I wonder how long this crummy monorail trip will be. Most maps have their scale printed on them. That's the ratio between distances on a map and distances on the surface of the Earth. On this map, 1 centimeter is equal to 25 meters. That's a scale of 1 to 2,500. Okay, let's estimate. You can use any straight edge as a ruler. You could even just use the knuckles on your finger if that's all you've got. I'll use my very happy Funland ticket. Say we wanted to find the distance between the Pirates of the Major Deegan and Mr. Frog's car accident. 4 centimeters plus another 4 and a little left over. Okay, it's a little over 9 centimeters. We'll just round that up to 10. When you estimate, it's best to use round numbers, which are easy to deal with in your mind. So, according to this map, the two rides are about 250 meters apart. But back to this monorail track. The track is a circle, more or less. It's not exactly a circle, but we're estimating here. 4 plus 4 plus 4. Looks like our circle has a diameter of about 21 centimeters. Let's round that down to 20, since we don't have a calculator. If 1 centimeter on our map is 25 meters in real life, 20 times that distance is 500 meters. The formula for finding a circle's circumference is c equals pi, or about 3.14, times the circle's diameter. So the circumference of the track equals pi times 500. Let's just round that to 3 times 500 to get 1,500 meters. I'm going to guess we're crawling along at about, a meter per second, so we're looking at 1,500 seconds on this fun machine. Realize how long that is? Right, about 25 minutes on the monorail while everyone else gets to ride the fun rides. Get off me. Fine. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
All right. So that video has a little bit more information than you necessarily need. We don't really need to know the circumference of circles and stuff, but the estimating, the idea of kind of rounding and guessing how far you're going to go or how long it's going to take is kind of the idea we use for decimals as well. So the keywords that you look for when you're estimating something are going to be the word estimate. So estimate how long this is, estimate to the nearest tenth, things like that. Approximate is kind of like approximately how long will it take. About gives you the around sort of word. And then round. Rounding is going to be the one that you hear the most. Round to the nearest tenth. Round to the nearest ones, to the nearest whole number. So rounding is going to be the biggest one that you'll see. And then when it doesn't tell you exactly the place value to estimate to, just always go to the nearest whole number, to the nearest ones place. That's going to be the major rule there. Okay. The next one, estimation rules. And let me know if I'm going too fast, by the way. Estimation rules, there are 3 rules. The first thing you need to do is always go to the right of the place value that you're estimating to. I can't get the lid off. There we go. I don't even know if this works. So let's say we have 3.24. Is that big enough on the screen?
They can't see it.
Can't see it?
They can't see you.
They can't see.
Just any.
Oh, you're right. Let me go back to me. Now you guys can see me? Okay. So let's say if we have 3.24. Is that big enough? Yeah? All right. Let's say we want to round to the 10th place. That means that you're going to look at the number to the right of it. So you'll always look to the one behind the number that you're estimating to. So if we're rounding to the 10th place, this 2, you're always going to look behind it at the 4. Now the rules go that if it is a 0 to 4 in this place, you are going to round the number, not round, sorry. Keep the number the same. So this 2 would stay at 2 if this is a 0 through 4. If it's a 5 through 9, you're going to round the number up. So if this was a 5 or 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, this 2 would go up by 1 number. So what would it go up to? Go ahead and write that in the chat. Or what would the answer to this one be? I guess is a better question. If we're rounding to the 10th, what would this become? Yeah, I asked 2 questions there. That's my bad. So if we round to this place value, what would it become? There you go. You see in the 3 2/10. So this is a 4. So I'm going to use this rule, and it becomes 3 2/10. Okay? How do you guys feel about that? Good? Give me a good if you're okay with that. Okay, looking good. Let's try, I have 2 practice problems. Let's go try those. I got to present again, don't I? That's the hard part. Present. Alrighty. So let's start with number 1. It says estimate 4 6/10 to the nearest whole number. 4 6/10 to the nearest whole number. Go ahead and take 30 seconds. Try that one, and then I'm also going to go back to the whiteboard up here and show you guys as well. So take 30 seconds. Try that one. Four 6/10. All right, I'm seeing some answers there. So I'm going to stop sharing so you guys can see the whiteboard again. You guys see that? Okay. So we have 4 6/10, and we're rounding it to the whole number, which is the ones place right behind or right in front of the decimal. If we're rounding it to the ones place, we need to look at the number behind it. So look at our 6. It's a 5 through 9, so we're going to round up, which means that our 4 becomes a 5. And I see that all of you guys got that. I see that some of you guys have this 0.0. Does anybody know why I didn't have to write the 0.0? If you know, you can unmute and let me know.
It equals the same thing.
It's the same thing, right? If you have just the number 5, it's the same thing as having 5 and 0/10. Adding the 0 you can, but you don't have to. Okay? So both answers are good. Let's do one more. Let's just do number 2 and then we'll move on. You guys can always go back. I got to present again. Here we go. Alrighty, let's look at number 2. It says estimate 389 to the nearest 10. Okay, so go ahead and take 15 or so seconds. Estimate 389 to the nearest 10. Better marker. $389 to the nearest 10. Okay, good. I'm seeing some answers in there. 390, 390, 390. Looking good. I'm going to stop sharing. We'll go over this one. All right, 390. Does anybody want to unmute and tell me how they did it? All right, I see Madi. Go ahead.
I got my answer by the last digit, the ones. It was from 5 to 6, so I rounded up, which made the 8 a 9.
Good. So you got the 390. But if the last one we got rid of the 0, why can't I get rid of the 0 here?
Because it shows that it's 90 instead of just 39.
Good. You got to make sure you keep the 0 on this one, because if you get rid of it, all of a sudden it's 39, not 390. Good job. Put a good in the chat if you're ready to do some adding and subtracting of decimals. the fun stuff. Good, good, good. All right, I'm going to present again, and then you guys are in for a real treat. You get to hear me sing, which is not good, but you know, we're going to do it anyway. All right. So, we're going to skip this part. So there's this song called the Decimal Song. It goes to the tune of If You're Happy and You Know It, but it's really good for remembering the rules of adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing decimals. So you guys are going to love this. Usually I make you do it in class, but I'm not going to make you do it. So the tune of If You're Happy and You Know It is if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands, right? So that's the tune I'm going to sing to. Feel free to, you know, sing along if you want, but I think this song is really good for remembering the rules. So starting at the top, we got 1, 2, 3. When you add or subtract, line them up. When you add or subtract, line them up. Keep your ones with your ones and your tenths with your tenths. When you add or subtract, line them up. When you multiply, remember just to count. When you multiply, remember just to count. So the digits on the top match the digits down below. When you multiply, remember just to count. Bounce the ball to the wall to divide. Bounce the ball to the wall to divide. Then you bounce it in the house and you throw it on the roof. Bounce the ball to the wall to divide. Thank you for listening to my great singing voice. So these are going to be the rules. We're also going to talk a little bit more about it. We're just going to do the first part here, the adding and subtracting. And then on Thursday, we'll do another live lesson where we talk about the multiplying and dividing. But for today, just adding and subtracting. And hopefully this song sticks in your head and helps you remember, because it's a great song. So let's talk about adding and subtracting in general. If you want to take the notes, you can, but this PowerPoint is also up on Schoology, so you can always go back to it. But the first step for adding and subtracting is always line up your decimals. That's the most important part. You have to make sure your ones are with your ones, the decimals are lined up and down, your tenths, your hundredths, everything needs to line up with the correct place values, or you're going to end up with the wrong answer. So if you look down here, it says to line up the decimals. Doesn't matter if there's extra place values here. All you do is add some placeholder zeros. So make sure you line up your decimals first. That's the first step, always, whether you're adding or subtracting. Second step is to add any placeholder zeros. So on this first one on the left, we have 1 and 452 thousandths plus 1 and 3/10. There's these two blank spots underneath here, and you're going to want to add 2 zeros just to hold the places. So you add 2 plus 0, 5 plus 0, so that you don't forget that those zeros are there. Okay. Step 3 is to just add or subtract like you always do. Whether you need to carry anything or borrow if you're subtracting, just do it exactly how you normally do it. And step 4 is to just drop the decimal straight down in your answer. So that's what it means by lining them up. It'll drop straight down below into your answer. Okay. So let's do an example together. I'm going to write this one on the board behind me, and then I'll switch just so that you guys can see me better, and we'll do this all together. So we have 4 and 59 hundredths plus 40 and 7/10. Okay, I'm going to switch it over to me. And stop presenting. Okay, this is a good time if you do have paper and pencil in front of you by chance. Do it along with us. You're going to do one on your own too. So let's start with the first step. In the chat, what's step number 1? What should you do first? I'm seeing. There we go. Good, I'm seeing the answer there. You got to line up your decimals first. You can't do this yet without lining them up. And they're not lined up right here. So if we have our 4 and 59/100ths on top, our decimal has to stay here, and you line up all your place values. Okay, so now that we have it lined up, what's step 2? What should I do after I line up my decimals? Okay, good. There you go. I see a couple of you guys. We're going to add our zeros next. Do I need, well, I guess I can't really ask you like this. Oh, I see Cheyenne said it. We don't need to add a 0 up here. That's not a place value, you add one, but we do need to add one underneath the 9 to hold this place value right here. And then step number 3 is to do what? Step 3. Good, Maddie. We're going to add. Usually I would ask you guys to do it out loud, but go ahead and add. I'll do it as well. We have 9 plus 0 is 9. 5 plus 7 is 12, so your 2 stays down. Carry your 1. 1 plus 4 plus 0 is 4, and then we have 4 left over. Oh, 1 plus 4 plus 0 isn't 4. It's 5. Sorry, my bad. Now, we've done step 3 where we add. What is our final step here? What are we missing? Good, Dal. We need to add our decimals in. Or 1 decimal. We need to bring it down. I saw someone say that. So that's going to come right down in between our 5 and 2. And you're going to get 45 and 29/100ths as your final answer. Cool. Let's do, I think there's one for you guys to do on your own to practice. So I'm going to present again, put it up, and have you guys try it on your own. All right. And then if we click forward, we see 45 and 29/100ths was our answer. The next one is a subtraction one. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Why don't you guys try the subtraction on your own? It's the same exact process. You're just going to subtract instead of add. So maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes to do it on your own. Don't put the answer in the chat just yet. I'll ask for it in a minute. So go ahead and try that one on your own.
Charles told me he can't find it.
Oh, that's okay, Charles. Next, just try and find it for like Thursday when we do a different one, another live lesson. Or get like a receipt and write it on the back of a receipt or something, a napkin, whatever you have. Three. That's all right. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing, put it back on me. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and talk through how we do it, and then you guys can tell me if you got the same answer. I see some of you guys already doing it, so I'm gonna do it too. The first step is to line up our decimals. So we have 67 and 4/10 minus, line up your decimals, 0.043. So step 1, line up your decimals. Step 2, add your zeros. We definitely need placeholder zeros up here. That's definitely going to affect the subtraction, okay? Now we subtract. Can't do 0 minus 3, so we need to borrow. Can't borrow from this 0, so we have to borrow from our 4. 4 becomes a 3, and this 0 becomes a 10. But we still have to borrow to get over to this 0. So this 10 becomes a 9, and finally we have a 10 minus 3, which is 7. Then 9 minus 4 is 5. 3 minus 0 is 3. 7 minus 0 is 7. 6 minus nothing is 6. And our final step, bring down our decimal, and our final answer is 67 and 357 thousandths, which I see that a lot of you guys got. So you're killing it. Good job. Do you guys want to do a couple more practices, a yes or a no? Or do you want me to just show you where I put some practice up online? What would you prefer? Couple more practice? All right. I'll make some up from up here. Oops. Let's do an adding one first. Well, I just like no. If you don't want to stay for the practice, let me show you real quick where there's some practice online. Okay, so I'm going to show you on presenting. It's on Google Classroom. So if you go to Google Classroom and you go to classwork and you scroll down to math, there's a Google form. It's called Place Value Estimating and Decimal Practice. All you do is click on it, it opens up, and I think there's 10 questions total for you guys to practice. And it is part of the things I'd like you to do this week. So you can either hang out, do a couple more practice problems, or you can go do this practice form. Sound good? All right, I'm gonna give you like 30 seconds. If you're gonna stay to do some practice, go ahead and stay on. If not, go ahead and head out and work on those practice problems. Let's see if one of these markers works better. A little bit better. All right, good, got a couple of you guys staying? Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so it's back on me. You guys see me? Yeah? Okay, let's do 2 adding and then we'll do 2 subtracting, and I'm gonna send you guys off to try that Google form, okay? So let's start with 48.9 plus 7.63. Can you guys see that? I can't see myself. So. Try that one. Maybe do 30 seconds and then I'll go over it. Okay, I'm seeing some answers. I don't know the answer, honestly. I just put it in there. Made it up. Madi, I think you subtracted, not added. Adding. All right. Charles, can I put you on the spot and you tell me what you did? You gotta unmute though. There we go.
So
Like, I don't really remember. I just heard someone, like, I think you said, like, something about, like, the decimals have to be, like, at the same place. So that's how I added it up. So I put 3 plus nothing, 9 plus 6, 8 plus 7, and 4 plus nothing.
Good. So he's correct. We need to line up our decimals first, add our placeholder 0, and then you can add. So 0 plus 3 is 3. 6 plus 9 is 15, carrier 1. 8 plus 7 plus 1 is 16, carrier 1. And 1 plus 4 is 5. Then, Charles, how'd you know where to put your decimal?
Because, like, there's 2 decimals right there. I just put it down 1.
Good. You
I
just
just
bring
brought it right down.
Good. Bring it straight down, right in between. So 56 and 53 hundredths. Which is what you guys got. Looking good. One more adding? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let me make it up. Let's try some hundreds. 138.42. I'm gonna line this one up for you guys. Plus 75.98. Oh, that was a terrible 8. Okay, try that one. I lined those decimals up for you this time. Because sometimes it does it for you. So might as well let you practice when it does it for you. Do I need to write bigger, Charles?
Minus or plus? Is that a minus or a plus?
Well, we're adding.
Oh, I didn't really see if it was a minus or a plus.
No, I just didn't write it very well. That's my fault. I haven't had to use my teacher handwriting in a while, so. All right, looking good. Someone want to explain how they got their answer? Maybe not Charles, because he just explained, but someone else. I will call on you. Sorry, Charles. Maddie, you still there? You want to explain this one real quick?
Sure. I added the 8 and the 2, the 4 and the 9, along with the number I had brought over from the previous.
Good. So you added and carried.
And
Then
then I added and carried again.
Okay, so that one is 14. Carry it.
I did this same thing.
Okay, so that one is 14 again. Carry your 1.
Added and carried, and then
Added and carried, so that's 11. Carried, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. And then what would be your final step?
then I would bring down the decimal.
Good, bring it straight down. 214 and 40 hundredths. If I got rid of this 0, is it the same number?
Yeah.
It will be the same number. That 0, it doesn't have to be there, but it was part of the problem. But when you write your answer, you can just write. That was a terrible 4. 214 and 4/10 is the same as 4 with a 0. Okay? Want to do a 2 subtractions real quick? I don't know if I like this color either. Let's try 52.3. I'm gonna write it over here. minus 8.2. Okay, try that one. Okay, 52 and 3/10 minus 8 and 2/10. Line up your decimals, subtract, bring down your decimal.
Like this.
I can't see that. I can't see any decimals.
Is that better? Okay. Good, I'm seeing the same answer from you guys. Okay, cool. You guys all got the same answer, so I'll just go over this one. First step, line up your decimals. 52, that was a terrible 2. Let's write that again. 52 and 3/10 minus 8 and 2/10. After you line them up, subtract like normal. Well, you're supposed to add placeholder zeros, but there's nowhere really to add any placeholder zeros on this one. So we'll just subtract. 3 minus 2, 1. You can't do 2 minus 8, so you got to borrow. This becomes a 4. Bring your 1 over. So this is 12 minus 8, which is 4. And then 4 minus 0 is 4. Someone tell me what my final step is.
Bring the decimal down.
Bring the decimal down. Good job. 44 and 1/10. All right. One more problem. We'll do something in the hundreds. Then I'm going to let you guys go work on that Google form, okay? So let's do 841.38 minus 64.9. Can you guys see that? Okay, go ahead and take a minute and work on that one. I was going to try and do it in my head, but I don't think I can. We're getting the same answer so far. I'm going to assume it's right because I didn't do it yet. All right, let's go over it. So we have 841 and 3800ths. And we need to make sure we line up our decimals. And we get 946. What do I need to add underneath the 8?
0.
A 0, good. Okay, so we have 8 minus 0 is 8. Can't do 3 minus 9. We got to make sure we borrow. So this 1 becomes a 0, and the 3 becomes a 13. 13 minus 9 is 4. Can't do 0 minus 4. So we got to borrow.
Bring down the decimal.
You can, as you're doing it, you can bring down the decimal. You can do it in the middle of your problem or at the end. But we can't do 0 minus 4, so we have to borrow from the 4. It becomes a 3. That 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. Again, can't do 3 minus 6, so we got to borrow from the 8. It becomes a 7. And the 3 becomes a 13. 13 minus 6 is 7. 7 minus 0 is 7. And that's what you guys all got, right? 776 and 48 hundredths. Killing it, guys. Doing awesome. I think you guys are ready to try that Google form. You guys remember how to find it? Okay, I'll show you one more time.
What?
There's a Google form. It's on Google Classroom.
Form?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want
So
me to
it's-
go to Google Classroom?
Yeah, I'll show you. I'm going to present my screen so you know exactly where it is, okay?
Okay.
All right, you guys can see that. So if you go to Google Classroom, so you're going to log in like normal, go to Google Classroom, and it'll take you to this part. You can either click on it right here in the stream, and it'll take you here, and you can go do the practice part. Or you can go to classwork and scroll down. Oops, too far. There we go. To math. I put it under our math class. Click on it, and then you'll click on practice, and it'll open up. And then you can work on it there. I think there's 10 questions total. That help?
Can you do it again? I didn't really pay attention that good.
Yeah, I will do it one more time for you. Okay, if you know where it is, you can log off and head over there. I'm going to help out Charles real quick. Alrighty, you can see my screen, right, Charles? Okay, so go to Google Classroom, and then you'll go to the Classwork tab. It's up at the top, and you'll scroll down until you get to Math, and then it's this place value estimating and decimal practice. You'll click on it, and then you'll be able to click on where it says Practice, and it'll open up, and you can work on it from there. Does that help, Charles?
When is this due?
It's going to be due on Sunday, just like everything else for the week. Charles, I can't hear you if you're talking. Gotta unmute.
So I go on Classroom Google Forms.
Well, if you just go to Google Classroom in general, it's in the Jones Classroom under Math. So the form is already there. You don't have to go to Google Forms by yourself. You just have to click on that assignment, and it'll open up for you.
So Google Forms.
Mm-hmm.
Are we doing Google Meets later?
So it is practice Google Forms.